Peace. What's good, fam? Islam. It's your brother Cool. We travelings today. So, this video, I want to discuss, and this is going to be a branch off of the last video I did, you know what I'm saying, relative to the simple truth and the complicated lie. Everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything that operates with some form of organization on this planet, that system or principle utilized by the beings on this planet is called trust. Trust is an ancient, and when I say ancient, I mean an ancient of traditional ways. That's part of our trust, essentially, is part of our religion as well. You understand what I'm saying? Trust is a part of our religion. Now remember, now religion means to go back to, or to bind back. I'm sorry, or to bind to, or to go back to light. All right. So religion is just simply going back to the original ways, going back to your origin, going back to your authenticity, going back to what makes you you. That is your religion. Okay, so being in honor of your ancestors is to a religion. But no one has come up with a religion called in honor of your ancestors. You see what I'm saying? There's no religion like that called, because that religion has been broken out into different sects or different ways of life that have been implemented by those different peoples, right? According to their own creativity, according to their own specific situation. For some, that's Buddha, Confucius, Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Muhammad. You feel what I'm saying? So these are some of the divine aspects of like the prophetic, ecclesiastical type of names that, you know what I'm saying, you start throwing out and stuff like that. But nevertheless, not to stray too far from the point, everything in the system is based off of trust. So if you can comprehend trust law, you can comprehend very clearly how every system on this planet operates. I keep saying the same thing over and over again. I just want y'all to know that. I'm not saying anything I haven't been saying already. I haven't said anything that I haven't shown and proven already. Right? I've shown and proven where I get the information I'm researching, where the facts are coming from. So nothing that I'm saying is based on how I feel or the type of message I want to get across. The truth is the truth. The truth is something that is universal. So if 2 + 2 is only 4 over here, but then if I go to Manchuria, China, 2 + 2 over there is 4.5. And then if I go over to Europe, 2 + 2 over there is 1.7. You see what I'm saying? If that's the case, then 2 + 2 isn't really 4. That's not a universal truth. That's not a truth, because it doesn't apply absolutely everywhere. A truth is something that applies absolutely everywhere. So trust is truth, because everyone is operating in trust. Because the earth, I'm not talking about the people on the earth, I'm talking about the earth. The earth herself is trusting that when you incarnate here, you pick up, you know what I'm saying? You pick up the mission that the ancestors left off to you to accomplish. Like they trust that you're gonna continue on where the previous ancestor left off from. That is trust. So it's not a guarantee that when we come down here that we fulfill the missions that we have to do. So that alone, even the universe in itself, is based off of trust. Because once again, they have to trust that we're going to get it done, that we're going to come into ourselves, that we're going to be in honor, that we're going to be who we are and manifest those things which need to be manifest in order to bring everyone on this plane to a higher level of being. Right? Everyone says they want peace on earth. You know how to gain peace on earth? You gain peace on earth by everyone doing their life purpose. If everyone on this planet was fulfilling their life purpose, meaning the thing that makes them happy, the thing that keeps them in touch or in connection with the source, then there would be peace on earth everywhere. But the same way there's doers, there have to be non-doers. The same way there's lovers, there have to be haters. All right? Because the lovers need fuel from the haters. That's that extra push that the ancestors can't give you in the form of, hey, you're doing well, keep going. Rather, they can only send that to you in the form of someone coming with a so-called negative vibration. Nah, you can't do that. That's crazy. Why would you ever think of doing that? That's stupid. Look, man. Or look, look, girl, you should stop. That ain't gonna work out. That's the ancestors subliminally telling you to keep going. Okay? The only thing that wants you to stop is a negative, how would I say this? A negative entity. And a negative entity won't say anything. Right? If you're feeling discouraged, a negative entity is not going to give you anything. Because if you're feeling discouraged, then they're just going to let you drop. They're not going to try to give you extra encouragement to fall further. They're just going to watch you drop. Because if they try to help, then they might mess up the process itself. Right? By them intervening or trying to give you that extra push, it might backfire. You might be like, you know what, nah. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like one of those like delicate things, like you can't touch. You got to maneuver. Okay, you got to be very slick, very sly. All right, this is how entities operate. Entities don't operate very butch and very upfront and straightforward. They operate by bug dancing. They operate by beating around the bush. They operate by not going to the original source. They operate by just talking shit on top of shit on top of shit, and never taking the time to make sure people have understanding, understanding, overstanding. You know why? Because if everyone had understanding, understanding, and overstanding, you wouldn't need people like me. You wouldn't need me to be up here for information. You would have it already. So you would already be getting busy on whatever you do. Once again, you'd be fulfilling your life purpose. You see what I'm saying? You wouldn't be too concerned about me. Let's be honest here, y'all. And don't think that I'm under the illusion or under the guise of anything, that the only reason why my information is needed, because for one, it's truthful. For one, it's not being told freely. Because people are holding this information like it's a secret Boy Scout club. Like you gotta join a secret Boy Scout club to get this information, when it's all about your birthright. This is your right. This is your right. So understand, and I want you to understand my point of view very clearly. I do not do anything for the purpose of trying to make notes. Because according to the bankruptcy of the United States Congressional Record 1933, the more so-called notes you have, the deeper in debt you are. So for all those millionaires who got millions and billions and billions in bank accounts, that's a representation of how deep in the fucking hole you are. So I am all about being less the notes. I'm all about real material things, real assets, okay? Real things. Just needing just what you need, not needing more than what you need. It's not about being greedy. It's about needing just what you need. There's plenty to go around if people just stop being greedy. And that's the thing with the information. People are holding information and being greedy. And it's not your food. It's not your food. You didn't cook the food. You didn't prepare the food. So who are you to say someone else that the only way they can eat this meal is if they do something, give you $5, or do this process, or follow exactly your tea, or they got to become part of your club. And they're not even the ones that cook the goddamn food. But you hungry though, right? You're hungry though. And it's not even a bad thing that you're hungry, because you should be hungry. That means you're waking up. That means your pineal gland is snapping. You're waking back into this dimension. Your soul is being reconnected with your body so you can get back to work to fulfill your life purpose. So if you're in hunger spiritually for knowledge of self, then guess what? You're on your way to fulfilling your life purpose. But in order to fulfill the life purpose, you need the right tools. And these false prophets out here nowadays are holding the tools when it's not theirs to hold. So understand very clearly, the services that are offered to people are not based on paperwork. It's based on understanding, understanding, and overstanding. I don't want you to need me. That's the difference. I don't want you to need me. If I could just talk to you one time and you didn't need to come back to me again, like you could just take off from there and soar, okay, like an owl with your 360, I would love that, because guess what? That would get us quicker to having peace on earth. Because guess what? The more people we get closer to them being themselves so they can get back to finishing or fulfilling their life purpose, the closer we get to peace on earth, aka heaven on earth, both individually and collectively. Okay? But when you hold people hostage with information that's not yours, then you're not only stunting your own growth spiritually, so-called scholar, you're also stunting the growth of the earth and of the individual coming to you, because they are seeking the tools so they can fulfill their life purpose. You can't do it without the tools, right? And this is why this movement has been out as long as it's been, and we're still in the position we are, because niggas is holding the tools back. And I don't care if you wear a fez or not, or if you practice Islam, or if you do this, or if you know that, or what. If you holding back information that is not yours to hold back, and you are not giving that information freely to those who you know will put it to use and not have to be under you to do it, that's messed up. That's not love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. All right? That is not love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And the only thing, right? The only thing that a man, because every man is still worth his hire. So the thing that we have to come to an comprehension of as people is that when truth is being given and a brother is doing and a sister is putting in the work and they're putting in that truth and they're speaking that truth and they're honest, they're worth that energy they receive. So it's not the information that you pay brothers and sisters for. It is the time and the energy spent to take the information in the complex coded ass form that it's in, decode it, recode it back into something that's digestible in a more simple format for like a child, and then to dish that out in different formats, videos, PowerPoints, you know what I'm saying, DVDs, books, literature. That's what that man is worth. He's worth his hire for what the energy he took to put things together, to create things to better help the people, to better help uplift fallen humanity. Every organization, every movement needs finance. The issue is we as a people have been funding our own servitude. We've been funding the very same people who are taking advantage of us and keeping us in this stagnant position are the very same people we're funding. We're keeping them alive while we're drowning. And this is why I always stress, go right to the source. Bypass all the middleman-ish. Go right to the source. That way, instead of you trying to get verification from other brothers and sisters, now you're in the position where you're verifying other brothers and sisters. Because the source is universal. It ain't gonna change. Your interpretation of what the source is changes. But at the end of the day, if there's 4 lanes on one road, they're still going in the same direction. They're still going in the same direction. Meaning there's more than one way to heaven. So everyone has their lane or their direction to go in. But as long as they're heading in the same place, that's all that matters. The issue is when you are looking like you're doing the same thing, but you are not going in the same direction. You are not making the same moves, and you are not creating the same type of results and circumstances. That's when you start seeing the fuck shit. Excuse my French, but that's what it is. And that's what we need to get away from. Because the more we choose to rely on others to just be honest and truthful and forthcoming with the information, the more we allow the fuck shit to take place. So us as the Aboriginal peoples, this is an issue that we gotta solve. And the reason and the only way to solve false prophets, because the prophet said there'd be many false prophets. Even if you read the Bible, it says there'll be many false prophets. There'll be many false prophets. So you didn't get the memo? Y'all didn't get the memo? There's gonna be many false prophets. Many. There's gonna be a whole bunch of false prophets. So the only way to avoid being hurt or damaged while you're trying to come up into being who you are and not get injured by these false prophets, aka these agents, aka these vampires, aka these COINTELPRO operatives, is to go to the source and get your truth. That way no one can fool you. You dry them out. All right? They're leeches. They only survive if they have blood to suck off. So if you cut off the blood supply, you know what I'm saying, then these false prophets don't have environment to survive in. All right? So this is why it's important to go back to the source. Go back to the source, go back to the source, go back to the source. And don't be afraid to be yourself. But part of being yourself meaning you need to be, part of being yourself is you need to be a self-initiator. You need to take the initiative. All right? You need to take the initiative. And that's all that it means. You need to take the initiative. You need to become the boss of your situation. And when you do that, you protect yourself from being damaged. All right? So trust me. So with that, that's all I got to speak on that, fam. Peace, love, and light. Islam.